Okay, let's chit chat. We're chit chatting. I don't feel super at liberty to talk about personal style when I'm currently in a t-shirt and pajama shorts, but alas, I'm going to anyway. So I've said multiple times that one of my goals for this year, and even in the last couple years, has been trying to find my personal style. And that's what this video is going to be about. I've gone through a lot of different phases. A lot of different phases. And while I don't think that that necessarily is a bad thing, I don't really think that any of them were 100% my style. Of course, I think each of them had, little bits and pieces of, what I truly wanted to be wearing. But overall, the overarching vibe was not it. For this video, what I'm kind of going to be doing is basically just talking through, all of the research I've done in the past, few months and all of the, tips and tricks that I've picked up to try and find your personal style, because I know I've been trying to find these things, and so I figure this can be a journey we go on together, me and other people who are trying to do the same thing. So this might be the first, installment in a series of videos about the topic, and this is going to be, the foundational video. So I'm going to be talking a bit about, my own personal style and my own, past journey and, how I've gotten to where I am now in my style. And then I'm also going to be talking about, the things that I've found other people say helped them find their personal style, and also what I think personal style even means. So if you're on this journey too, this might be a helpful video for you. My skin is so dry. I fully turned into a lizard in the winter and I ran out of lotion, so if I'm itching a lot, I'm so sorry. I think one of the most important things in finding your own personal style is getting to know yourself in general, because I do think personal style and personality are very much intertwined. You kind of have to do one to do the other, in my personal opinion. I'm also not a, qualified voice on all of this, clearly. But if you don't know yourself that well, then you're not going to feel like yourself in any clothes, let alone the clothes that you do like. A problem that I often find is, anytime I'm, wearing pretty much any outfit or any makeup style or anything like that, I feel like I'm cosplaying as somebody else just all the time, because I've said this in videos before, but I'm on kind of a journey to find who I am outside of the mental illnesses that I let define me for so many years. And so I'm getting to know myself a bit better, and I think that that is why I constantly feel like I'm cosplaying as other people regardless of what aesthetic or style I'm wearing, because literally it can be clothes that I genuinely like and genuinely want to wear and aren't just because of a trend, and I still don't feel correct. It still feels like a cosplay in a weird way. And I think that this is why. I feel along with letting the mental illnesses define me, I was constantly dressing and acting and all of that I thought I was supposed to be perceived, rather than how I felt or wanted to be perceived, if that makes any sense at all. I think wearing what you're happy in and clothes and pieces that make you happy is the most important part. I think that's how you figure out what you actually like. The Marie Kondo thing.
Does this spark joy?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. If you put on an item of clothing, or you see an item of clothing and you immediately feel happy about it and you feel good, that is a good sign. And if something makes you happy, you should wear it, regardless of if it is currently on trend or if other people like it or whatever other people have to say about it. If it makes you happy, wear it. Am I talking to you or me? Who knows? That's one thing about growing up in a small town, is I feel it's harder to dress different than anyone else when you live in a small town, because nobody's really doing that. Everyone kind of dresses the same, and I feel everyone knows everyone, and it's just kind of more of a judgmental vibe. Even if it's not actually people judging you, dressing differently than everyone else in a small town just feels scarier. If I were to go to a city and live in a city, I feel I'd be more comfortable dressing differently or experimenting with my look. Granted, I do that anyway here, but you know what I mean? But when you feel good, you look good. So if it's clothes that make you happy, you're gonna look good regardless. So something I've been doing is, not only have I been making a Pinterest mood board, which I'll get into later, but I also have been writing out like lists of clothing pieces and clothing items that I know that I like for sure, and like clothing items that I have that spark joy or make me happy or that I feel happy in. And I think that that's a good start. Just like list it out. Like any clothing that makes you happy, put it in a list. Put it in a Google Doc. Put it in a mood board. As far as Pinterest goes, I love Pinterest for finding personal style. I think it's a great place to start, but I think something important to keep in mind is, do I like what this person is wearing? Do I think this is a good outfit or these are good pieces, or do I just think that this person looks good? That is something I've personally had to like try and figure out for myself, because oftentimes I feel like it's just like this person looks really good in this outfit and that makes me think that I like their outfit. But then if you take the person out of the outfit, meh, you know? Something important to keep in mind before you add things to your mood board. Just like ask yourself questions in your brain, but also don't overthink it. Like again, if you see it and it sparks joy, add it to the mood board. But then I have to think about, do I just like it on this person or do I think it would look good on me? Because everyone's body is different, but you also shouldn't let your body type dictate what you wear. Because again, if it makes you feel good, wear it. Regardless. Also, Pinterest is just a place to get inspiration. You don't have to recreate outfits to a T. Like, it doesn't have to be exactly what the person is wearing in the picture. You can just pull inspiration from it and then recreate it and modify it in ways that suit you or in ways that you feel better about. You could even just pick and choose, like mix and match different pieces and shapes from different outfits. Like, it doesn't have to be like you see an outfit, you buy that outfit. Like, that's not personal style. Pinterest is inspiration, not recreation. Which brings me to trends. Do not let trends dictate what you wear in either direction. Again, trends, just like Pinterest, can be a good place to grab inspiration from, but it doesn't mean you have to recreate it exactly. It doesn't mean you have to hop on every single trend. I've been super guilty of trend hopping, clearly from my phases pictures earlier, and just like fast fashion and all of that, and none of that is very good for personal style. You can't just hop on every trend and get things that are trendy and then think that you have style just because you're wearing what's on trend. Like, maybe sure you look good, sure you're wearing what everyone else is wearing, but do you feel good? Is that your personal style? Would you have bought that? Would you have worn that if it wasn't on trend? Much to think about. But this also works in the opposite direction, and this one actually I feel like kind of pisses me off more. Personally, I just get really enraged when I see people on the internet, like, barking at people just because, not like literally barking, but like yelling at people simply because they're buying things that are trendy, and being like, having like a superiority pick-me complex because they don't wear things that are trendy. Like, that just like literally makes me so angry for no reason. Like, I know it's not that deep. I know I'm overreacting, but it really does piss me off. Just because you are not wearing what's trendy does not mean you have personal style either. Like, it's literally the same thing. Hopping on every trend and avoiding every trend is still letting trends dictate what you wear. And thus it's not personal style, it's just your superiority complex fueling what you wear and like avoiding trends. That's not style. That's not style. Just because you're not wearing what's on trend does not mean you're stylish, I'm sorry. So basically, you don't have to wear something just because it's trendy. And you can wear things that are quote unquote out of trend. It's whether you like it or not. It's whether you personally like it or not. And you don't have to avoid things just because they're trendy. Just because the style you like is also what's trending doesn't mean you don't have personal style. Like, it doesn't mean it's not stylish. Things are often trendy for a reason. So I don't think trends should play a part in what you wear in either direction. Also, having personal style does not mean you have to stick to one aesthetic. Style and aesthetic are not synonymous. If you want to dress like a different aesthetic every day of the week, you can, and you should, and I will. This is one that I've been like ranting about for literal years, because like I can never pick an aesthetic, which is probably because I don't have personal style, but I want to wear them all. And I think you should, and you should definitely mix and match. And if you're incorporating like your own favorite staple pieces into each different aesthetic, then you're still kind of curating the same vibe regardless of what aesthetic you're wearing, so it's still like your personal style, and I think that's what's really cool. Which brings me to staple pieces. I have like mixed opinions on this. I think personally something that I need to work on is getting more staple pieces, because often what I do is I see statement pieces that I really, really love, and so I buy all of these statement pieces, and then I don't have staple pieces to style them with, because I can't like style all of my staple pieces together because I'll look crazy. Well, some people can, and they can pull it off and it looks sick, but like so I definitely need to incorporate more staples into my wardrobe. But the thing that I think people don't talk about with staples and stuff is that staple doesn't have to mean what everyone else says you should have in your closet. You know what I mean? It's just like items of clothing that you know you can style with other stuff, and you know that you can style in other ways. But it is often the same stuff, like plain t-shirts, plain tank tops, casual pair of jeans, stuff like that. But I do think staple pieces are a great foundation for your wardrobe, because without staple pieces, you can't really wear your statement pieces, and then where's the fun? Now we're kind of getting into the things that I need to personally work on, because that last one was the one that I need to personally work on. And another thing that I've realized I need to personally work on is buying things that I know that I can style with things that I already own. It kind of goes with the last one, but I just need to stop impulse purchasing. Like, because again, I see things that I love, and I just buy them because I think they're cool in the moment, but I don't think about, like, what I'm gonna style them with, like what I already own that they can go with, if it's even practical, when and where I'm going to wear it. Like, I don't think about that stuff, and I really need to. So no more impulse purchasing, and thinking about what I can style it with that I already own. Important. And also, of course, do I like this for real, or is it just a trend right now? Have I just seen other people wearing it, or do I personally like it? Also, fast fashion has got to go. It's gotta go. It really, really does. Another thing that I need to work on that's like in the same vein is thinking about the longevity of things that I'm buying. Like, I think that I just need to stop buying things that are super cheap, which goes with the fast fashion, but buying things that are cheap but don't last. Because it's like, yeah, it's cheaper in the moment, but if you think about like cost per wear, it's really not. So I need to just like invest in pieces that I really like, that are gonna last me a long time, that I know I'm gonna get out of, and I know I'm gonna wear. Because like, yeah, I just need to start thinking about cost per wear over right now, immediately, I want this. I'm gonna wear it 5 times, then it's gonna rip. Like, you know? Honestly, I do think it's kind of difficult to build personal style nowadays, just because there's so much like influence from the media and the internet, whether it's intentional or not. You're constantly seeing trends and other people's style and like celebrities' style on a day-to-day basis. And of course that's going to subconsciously influence you, like, again, whether you mean to or not. But I do think that can sometimes be a good thing as well, because while it can like cause you to get lost in other people's style and trends and stuff, I also think it's a good way to find inspiration and like see things that you otherwise wouldn't have seen, and also get an idea of like what you don't like. So I think at the end of the day, it's kind of like a double-edged sword for like finding your personal style. Like, the internet's a great tool for finding your personal style, but also killing it slowly. But I will say that trends and style have been influenced by other people and like influential people throughout all of history, like not just now. So while it's like more readily available and at our fingertips because of the internet and technology, it's not a new concept. Which is why in the beginning I said, like, I think personal style, the term personal style, is kind of like a complicated term, because if you really think about it, it's never really existed. Like, of course you can have like personal style, but I mean like the lack of influence from other people and trends and stuff like that has never really existed. I mean, people in the 1800s were literally poisoning themselves with the chemicals that were in their clothes and makeup to hop on trends and look like what people thought was like the ideal look. Like, those are trends. Like, that's influence and trends. So it's by no means a new concept at all in the slightest. You might have seen I made a video like a couple months ago, I think, where I like completely overhauled my closet, and I did not get rid of near as much as I wanted to. And I might have to overhaul it again. But that was kind of the start of me really getting into the idea of finding my personal style. Like, I've been thinking about it for like over a year now, but that was like the first push that I made. And then since then I've really been like working on my mood boards and my lists and researching, which is like where all of this came from. I have like a full Google Doc of notes about personal style. Also, what if I started a blog? Not about personal style, but this made me think of it because I was like typing out all the notes and I was like, this would be such a cool blog entry. And I don't hear people talk about blogs super often anymore. What if I started a blog? Just like a lifestyle blog. This is like a completely different tangent and I need to just stick to the topic at hand, But yeah, those are all of the tips and tricks that I've collected so far and the things that I personally need to work on. I'm hoping some of this helps some of you, and some of you might join me on this journey, because I love doing stuff with you guys. I love when we're doing things together. It feels like friendship. I will likely be making other videos in this series of me actually like showing outfits and showing like my style evolution and showing like the style that I'm building and like showing you my like me building, oh my god, I can't speak. Hello? Me building my new wardrobe, if that's something you want to see. This was just like, again, the foundational video for all of that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that some of this information was maybe helpful. And if not, sorry. But I will see you all next Monday.